My name is Strange, and I believe that people should know the truth. Mysterious events are constantly taking place on the territory of the Russian Federation, many of which have no explanation. But my events are getting such a big response that the authorities have to intervene. No, they are not intervening in order to understand the true nature of the incident. Believe me, they have sufficient information. They interfere to hide the truth from people. Isn't it true? The real truth is, it's very scary. Today I will share with you another secret documents, this time about the famous Tunguska meteorite. Believe me, the truth may shock you. As always, for security reasons, all names have been changed and the documents have been given an artistic color. And so, I'm starting. The three cadets entered a small darkened room with no windows. Each of them felt a certain excitement at that moment. The course of special training within the framework of the secret research program, Open Sky, was continuing. Each of the cadets has received special training. A man dressed in civilian clothes, namely a business suit like a tuxedo, entered the room.
Greetings, cadets.
The three guys, by the way, did not look at all athletic, stood at attention. The sudden movement knocked the glasses off the tallest guy. He threw his head up too much. The man who came, seeing how the guy was blindly searching the floor in a darkened room, approached him, picked up his glasses from the floor and handed them to the guy.
Cadet Igorov, we need to be more careful. Get yourself cleaned up.
Igorov put on his glasses and mumbled something guiltily.
So, today you have a graduation. Final assignment. You have all been trained and are ready to perform specific tasks related to mental activity. I'm not giving you a task. You have to interpret it yourself from those mental images and forms that will be transmitted to you. Is everyone ready?
The guys answered discordantly.
That's right.
The officer, and only an officer could talk to them in such a tone, nodded his head approvingly.
So, Private Igorov, you remain in this room. Privates Samoilov and Zelinsky, go to the following rooms. After completing the task, you will be given time. State everything in detailed reports.
When Igorov was left alone, the light was completely extinguished. The guy did not obey military discipline. The profile was too specific, not implying drill. He let his thoughts flow freely. They flowed into his mind like a river. It was the time of contact, the starting point, and the exposure time. Igorov sat down directly on the floor, moved back to the wall and rested his back against it, unbuttoned the collar of his tunic. Now the right toggle switch will work in the brain. There will be a click and everything will go like clockwork. He called it the X time, the time when miracles happen. This ability was noticed by him in childhood and then demonstrated to his mother. Then he easily read her thoughts, even the most secret ones. Later, for better or worse, this gift was revealed during military service. And here he is. He was noticed, selected, and began to train, trying to strengthen specific capabilities. Images poured into my head, layered with geometric shapes, from which the necessary templates and patterns of future reality or past events were formed, about which information had to be read as part of the task. His heart was throbbing in his ears. Igor felt blood flow from his nose. A warm trickle flowed under his nose, then over his lips and out onto his chin. Everything was fine. From the report of Private Maxim Andreevich Igorov, 19 years old.
I received stable thought forms about the Tunguska meteorite and about the true interpretation of the event. The data is read from the mind of a direct participant in the events. I bring them to your attention in the personal feelings, experiences, and actions of a direct participant.
3 research ships hovered in the orbit of the blue planet. The creatures inhabiting this planet are very hesitant to enter the atmosphere at relatively low altitudes using primitive devices. It will take more than 1 generation until they begin to confidently go into space. First at the surface of their planet, then into their star system, and more than 100 years until they master space flights through wormholes and subspace. The captain of the research ship was sitting at the dashboard, activating the necessary systems with light touches, monitoring the readings of the instruments.
Captain Garikina, currently automatic systems are aimed at troubleshooting the tachyon motor coil. There is a powerful cavitation of solar winds in this system.
The captain nodded his bald head. A completely human head, but only trimmed into a fancy ponytail that descends in an even wedge to the back of the neck.
It will take from 15 to 18 turnaround cycles for repairs. We can't orbit their planet for that long. I order you to redirect the charging systems to the energy of their sun. Let's charge up with solar winds. There will be enough energy to maneuver and break through the wormhole. In our system, we can do without tachyon coils.
Varian's employee sat down in the control chair and after a few seconds fused with him. The chair absorbed his body, clothed him in translucent shells. That was Variana's fate. Only he had a connection to the ship's biological machine. The technology of growing quantum biological computers was based on the fusion of a ship and a thinking living being. But there was also a significant drawback in this. The speed of the living brain was unstable and short-lived, so Variana was forced to arrive by ship forever. They couldn't live without each other. Variana fed his psyche with quantum forces drawn from space itself, and the ship was fed by Variana's mental forces. Each navigator lived no more than 5 to 6 Earth years, and after that his psyche could not stand it. It was said about such people, dissolved by the cosmos. Variana had been piloting his ship for the 4th year. The ship's power was redirected to absorb solar winds. The entire crew felt it. Their eyes lit up with an iridescent sheen, static electricity condensed on their fingertips. Captain Gerakina smiled happily. After all, this system was promising not because of the primitive creatures inhabiting it, but precisely because of their main luminary, which was called by the ancient ancestors of the cosmic civilization with a proud word, Ra. Everything was going according to plan, but suddenly an unforeseen and terrible thing happened. A cone-shaped shuttle of a hostile civilization appeared from the cosmic abyss. Bypassing the research ships, he headed straight for Earth. Variana began to shake under the shells. Gerakina bent over the instruments.
It's them. They found us. They came out of the black spectrum. We can't hide.
Mental images and kinetic streams of mental waves from the other 2 ships poured into Gerakina's mind.
We don't have any weapons. Charging is not completed. These are roids. They've been following us, and now they know about this system.
Gerakina put mental blocks and cut off the panic.
They knew about this system. We found their tracks. Everyone prepare for the transfer of consciousness to the templates on their home planet. Variana and I will stop them. The rest of you get ready to move and go into subspace. Bring the ships to self-destruct.
A storm of negative energy burst into my thoughts.
Gerakina, we will not leave you. We're going to die with you. Ra will receive us all.
Gerakina put another mental block. He needed clarity of thought.
No, send your ships to the moon. Someday the people of this planet will get to them. Our technology will help them. I believe that reason will prevail, and they themselves will someday reach our planet and be accepted into the Brotherhood. Then they will understand the essence of their origin. Get ready to move.
Gerakina set up the 3rd block when he saw firsthand how 2 neighboring ships pushed off from the void and slowly sailed towards the gray sphere of the moon in Earth orbit. Gerakina looked at Variana, who was engulfed by the ship. He understood that solar energy is not the same as tachyon energy. The ship will not go smoothly. Most likely it will immediately be carried into subspace and carried at an exorbitant speed until the tachyon revolution stops the effect of the converted solar ion energy. But this sudden, rapid leap could have made the ship itself, its entire mass, a weapon. The decision was made.
Variana, we have to stop them. They are the destroyers of worlds and souls. Read my thoughts, Variana.
The navigator was shaking under the shells, but was fully aware of what had happened.
They'll be in the planet's atmosphere in a few minutes. It's now or never. Variana, we will sweep by with a swift solar spear and pierce the darkness into his filthy heart. Now.
Variana screamed, and at that moment the ship rushed to the surface of the Earth in front of the combat shuttle of the evil aliens. At the last second, Gerakina activated the Annihilator in order to split all possible debris into constituent molecules. At incredible speed, the research ship drove its oblong hull into the cone-shaped ship of evil. The explosion was partially absorbed by the Annihilator, but not all of it. The disaster occurred in the area of Tunguska. Later, the event was named as the phenomenon of the Tunguska meteorite, becoming a mystery to mankind. Unfortunately, neither Variana nor Gerakina were able to carry out the transfer of consciousness, like the crews of other ships. It was necessary to control the ship until the last mortal moment. Also, Gerakina and Variana did not find out that the Roids had long known about the Earth and had long been involved in the development of mankind, instilling in it all the most vile and vicious, but did not manifest themselves explicitly. Perhaps just now an attempt at an explicit manifestation was stopped. Igorov blinked his eyes. He saw everything through Gerakina's eyes. He felt it with sensations and emotions. He was coming to himself little by little. I tried to wipe the dried blood from my chin and nose. He told the whole story in the form of a report and gave it to the controller, a man in a business suit. The report of the supervisor instructor.
In the course of mental research, stable and extraordinary data were obtained from only one cadet, Maxim Andreevich Egorov. The rest of the cadets did not survive the ordeal due to a strong, uncontrollable mental storm. Private Zelinsky showed signs of debility and stupor for 3 hours after contact, then died. Samoylov was unable to make contact, died of a simultaneous heart attack and stroke.
As for the data obtained, I submit 3 theses for your consideration.
Thesis number 1. The phenomenon of the Tunguska meteorite is not associated with the manifestation of natural forces of a cosmic nature, but with the actions of extraterrestrial civilizations, namely, the battle of spaceships. In addition, the ability of the space race to empathize and sacrifice has been revealed. One of the races showed hostility. This is also an important factor. Thesis number 2. On the Moon, in an unidentified quadrant, there are fragments of 2 spacecraft, probably with the bodies of dead aliens. Thesis number 3. Our civilization originated from a cosmic race of humanoid beings. Our planet has been visited by them many times. Perhaps some artifacts have been left on the planet.
The controller completed the report and slapped a stamp on it. Research Institute of Hidden Possibilities of the Brain and Psyche. 1958, the implementation of the USSR Luna program, Luna 2. Variana did not die immediately. For a while, he was supported by the psychic powers of the ship, even after the death of his body. The connection was so powerful that at the moments of fusion, it could project images into spaces beyond the apparent world. In many human religions, this subspace is called paradise. The ship's voice was insinuating and kind.
Variana, does it hurt you?
No, I feel calm and good. I know emptiness will come soon, and I will become a stream of raw energy. I feel good.
But the feeling of bliss was replaced by quite tangible pain. Black threads began to entangle the alien's energy shell. From golden, it turned blue and then black.
What is this? Ship? What's wrong with me?
I'm sorry, Variana. There's nothing I can do. They want to steal your soul. Sorry.
If you think that this is not proof of the existence of aliens, then you are right. There is much more evidence, and on our channel we will reveal all the secrets and evidence of their presence. Subscribe to the channel and send me your stories related to aliens by email. You will find contacts in the About the Channel section. Together we will force the authorities of all countries to disclose all the information they have. After all, people should know the truth.